So, Dina Rosenmeier is the leading actress of Reality Check, directed by Stephanie Pedros from Germany. Unfortunately, she's not here to present her film. The screening is in a few minutes now. But thanks God, Dina came here in Cyprus to support the film and to meet her. So welcome, Dina, to Cyprus International Film Festival. And to Paphos. I know that you travel from Denmark to come here. And I would like to tell us your relationship, professional-wise, with the director and the experience you had with her directing this film. And your professional background. I know that you're an actress also in theater and in films.
Well, I'll try to do my best to remember those questions. But first and foremost, it was very exciting for me to be introduced to Stephanie Pedros, because she trained with Mike Lee, and for many years while studying acting at various schools all around the world, I had known about Mike Lee and his technique, but I had not had the opportunity to work in, let's say, real life with his technique. So being introduced to Stephanie was very special. At that time, we're talking late 2012, I was still living in Los Angeles and New York. And I was about to do a play off-Broadway in New York when Stephanie contacted me and wanted to work with me on this film, Reality Check. And it was a very unique experience in that a lot of the story came, she was writing the story while we were talking about things in real life, hence the title, Reality Check. And she wanted to intertwine these stories of two different experiences in life. And my story is that of a painter who's struggling, but I think for any person in the arts, whether you are a writer, a singer, an actor, a director, a painter, anything creative, you have a struggle because there's no routine. You do not have this. You wake up at 7 and you go to work at 8 and you go home at 5 and then you have the weekend. It's always a very fluid existence and you don't know when the next job is and how you will pay your bills and how you will go about it. And that's what Reality Check touches on. So it was very special. It has more deeper meanings. And I think actually Reality Check is a film that's even better the more times you watch it. If you are into anything creative. Whether you are a person who works in an office, and you watch this film and you have a secret desire to, paint or draw or sing or anything else, it's something that can inspire that in you. But it also deals with the day-to-day struggle of a person in both stories of the film. Now, Mark Byron, who plays the lead in the other story of Reality Check, is not here, but that is another person who's taking on a legacy of someone else. And what do you do when you're in that position where someone is giving you something and you ought to continue that, but it's not what your heart really desires? That is something that I personally, as Dina, can relate to, because my mother has done a lot of work for children in India and Kenya, all over the world. And I do want to continue her work, but growing up, I didn't comprehend why this was so important. But I've never had anything forced on me to continue her work. It's been a choice with time that I now do it. But I had a moment watching Reality Check where I thought, wait a minute, am I doing this work that my mother started, volunteer work for children, because it's something I should do, or because I want to? And it really made me think, and it was that movie, which I'm in the other film of the movie, that ironically made me consider that. So, now my background, I came from Denmark, I lived in the States. I started actually acting in Spain, in a theater school, always trying to avoid doing theater. Everyone was advising me against it. And I can see why, because it's a very difficult career to have on so many aspects. But if your heart tells you it's where you feel the most happy and at ease and feel you have a purpose, it's something you must pursue. But it's not an easy road. I don't think I mind that it's not easy. I think I sort of thrive on that, the unknowingness. Then I went to America to continue at a different school, at least Strasbourg in New York. And I feel, looking back, that I was always looking for reasons not to continue. But they didn't
Did you
come.
participate in films there?
No, in New York I did theatre. I was a sole theatre actress. It's quite ironic because today that we're screening Reality Check here at your wonderful festival, it's September 11th. And that was the day that my life completely changed. It's the only reason I went into movies and that I've ever done any movie in my life. Because I was a theatre actress. My big dream was West End London, Broadway New York. I only wanted to do theatre. But after 9/11, I was so involved in all the process of helping the victims' families find out how to locate their loved ones. I was on the missing person hotline, and I was super involved in this whole process, and it just broke my heart. And I had almost 1 year left of my work permit that I was intending to use breaking into the theatre scene in New York. And there I was, unable to function, walking on the street down Manhattan, not, seeing all these faces, thinking, oh my God, they lost their cousin, they lost their husband, their child, and it got too much. And I thought, no, I'm not going to just pack my bags and go back to Europe. A lot of people dream to have a work permit for America, and I got that, I had it. So I had some relatives, family friends that were in the movie industry that lived in Los Angeles.
I tell you a nice story about September 11th.
Yes. Well, I'll just finish this. It's very funny because of that.
You tell us about Los Angeles.
Yeah, but then I moved to Los Angeles. So I'll go out there.
You will tell us about Los Angeles. But I'll tell you a nice story about September 11th.
I love that.
Yeah. So that time I was in Cyprus, and a Hollywood producer, Gregory Cascade, was in Athens, and he couldn't go back because there were no flights to LA, to States, etc.
Manhattan was
so
closed.
I invited him for one day to come to Cyprus to show him the area, just in case he get inspired and he liked the place and he wanted to make his next film in Cyprus. He came, he was excited, he loved the place. He told me, Petra, this is the ideal place to do a film festival. And this is how Cyprus International Festival and born.
That's amazing!
Yeah,
oh, wow!
He's here and you are here.
Oh, I get goosebumps now. That's beautiful. No, really beautiful.
It was so spontaneous. This came up in
it's a fact that if 9/11 had not happened, I will guarantee you that I had not been a movie actress. I would have stayed only in theatre. I'm going to cry now because that's just so special.
Okay, so you moved to Los Angeles.
Yes, and then again, I didn't have the confidence looks-wise. I know that I'm strong on stage and I have a lot of emotion and I can be funny and angry and sad, all these things, but I did not have the confidence to imagine myself on camera, sort of like the ugly duckling. So I was there for not even a week, and I got stopped on the street by these two guys. One said he's a director, the other one a producer. I had heard all these horror stories about how these guys pick you up on the street in LA. I was like, well, I'm not sure what to think here. But anyway, they were looking for someone to play a spy in the movie. Her name was Olga. They wanted me to play the part. And I thought, well, why not find out if this is real? So I did that film, and then shortly after, I had a film, just one line opposite Vin Diesel in this film called Triple X, but that resulted in me actually already, not even a month into being in Los Angeles, joining the Screen Actors Guild, which is like the American Union for actors. So everything just happened so fast, and I got jobs on very big movies, but very small parts. And I got cut out of so many of these small parts, but I've really done the Hollywood experience by working with all these amazing directors and huge movie stars and all of that, but never really found any work in Los Angeles that had substance. As an actress, anything that I could have on stage. And I think the bottom and the straw for me, the drop that tips over the glass was when I had worked 3 weeks on this as an assassin in this big movie called Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, and I came to the premiere all dressed up, ready for seeing myself in this film, like thinking, finally, I must be on the screen and not on the cutting room floor. And I walked in, and of course, again, I was cut, and you just see me, like a few glimpses of me, and I thought, no, gotta get back to theater. Okay. Enough of this. I did all the years, well, all the years I was in LA, I did theater every year, and that sort of kept me breathing. But after that, I did a big production, a theater production of Hedda Gabler, and it went really well. But simultaneously, my mother was in the hospital in Denmark, and she has built so many schools and orphanages and worked with Mother Teresa. She's overseen more than 2,000 adoptions of children and done all of this work voluntarily. And I felt that I needed to somehow continue her work, or at least let her know that her work would be continued. Now, granted, this is several years ago. My mom is now 81 and still going strong. So I think it's been a very healing, good process for her to know that all her work has not been in vain. And that was a crossroad for me, because I think with the play I did, I really had a chance to step into Hollywood and be more than someone who gets cut out of the film.
So, Dina, you have participated also in another feature film, going back to Europe.
Yes, once I came back to Europe, it's pretty incredible, because leaving the States after so many years with having really set up a life, and have such a group of friends and routine, it's a big step to leave America to come back to Europe. But reality check during that movie really made me feel that I was working properly, and the love of the theater and the characters you can do in the theater. This was the closest thing I'd done in all my work as an actress on film. So I started contemplating coming back to Europe, and as soon as I did make that move, I did the off-Broadway play, came back to Europe. In January, I came back in December, and in January I was cast as the lead role in a film called The Marionette, which we shot last year in Spain. And then this springtime, the director has been editing the film, and we've done pickup shots and everything, and now it's being submitted to festivals. So on the whole, I was in New York and Los Angeles for many years, getting a lot of experience and great experiences, but the best work that I've done on film, the most exciting work, most meaningful work, is what I've done here in Europe.
Yeah, and the director of Marionette has more films.
Yeah, he's done 11 short films and 1 feature film before.
So the next question is, what is the difference working with a first-time director and a more experienced director, if you can say? You have also an experience in LA.
Yeah, I've worked with both in Los Angeles also. I think it's very hard to say. I think perhaps the way you...
Stephanie Petros is the only first-time director you have worked with, right?
I have worked with first-time directors on short films, but not on feature films. Yeah, I've done a couple of shorts that were first-time directors. Now, I think with having the experience of working with the first, it's like you're really giving birth to a baby on film. Like that person is, it's sort of the first time I was on stage. You come out, and then there's the spotlight, and now you're on, and it's all happening. So there's something very magical and exciting, but also tense about that experience. And I guess it's a learning process for the director and the whole team as a whole, like, and you get to know each other. So I think that there's something very fresh about working with a first-time director, something I would absolutely do. Provided the project was something I decipher. I'm not the person who says, oh, you have to have done so much work. It's more of a personal feeling. I guess the more experienced directors are, perhaps the more demanding they are, but then they also choose the team accordingly. So, you know, like I just shot a commercial in Denmark last month, and it's a very experienced director, and there's, you know, he's wonderful, and it was a great experience, but it's all very chip, like he already has a way of speaking with his team, and everything goes smooth, where with a first-time director, I think there's more of I just say it's like an adventure.
Ah,
it's like the first like.
Do you like adventures?
I love adventures. My whole life is an adventure.
So,
I just was in Paris yesterday. I came in from Paris 2 days ago from Denmark, like flying around. I really love adventure. I think that's what life is about.
And I have heard that you go to direct, or you have directed.
Well,
So you're a sort of
yeah, I am a first-time and only-time director. Yeah, I did direct a short, not a short, sorry, what am I saying? See, now you talk about me directing, I get nervous. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
No, this was the crossroad in Los Angeles when I'd done this play and my mom was sick and wanted to continue her work. And I figured I'd apply for a license to do a documentary about her work. It's something I had talked to her about before, but she had always said no. I met Mother Teresa through her twice when I was a little girl. I've been very affected by her going away all the time through my childhood to spend time with all these other children. I was like, what about me? You know, you're not home. She's the mother of 6 children and the other kids are more important, is what I thought in my child's mind. So then I figured I'll do the permission. You never get the permissions, but I'll try. And 3 weeks later, the Ministry of External Affairs in India approved my permission, to go and shoot inside the orphanages, inside the slum areas, inside the actually very vulnerable places, because of the respect they have for my mother and the work that she's done. And I thought, and it was with a very fixed schedule. That's what really changed my direction. That I went to India and I got so involved with my mother's work, and I'm now a board member of her foundation. I have my own street children's project in Mumbai, and I go to India as often as possible. I was there just for 7 weeks in February, March, and I go back in November, and they're like my children. Like, I'm not a mother, like I don't have kids, but I have all of these children. And so I directed this film, but I think it's more of a personal, it's almost like a diary that I directed.
So you directed this film and it was screened where? In television?
It's when it was screened, it was in the cinema in New York and in Los Angeles. And it was at several festivals. It won the Best Human Spirit documentary at a festival only for documentaries in Chagrin, Ohio. And it had a good run and a good laugh. It's being distributed in America now. And
maybe next year we can have your documentary.
Of course you can.
Because you are the first.
Yeah, of course, first documentary. Yeah, no, I'd love that. You're more than welcome to screen it here. I have a copy.
But it must be 36 months old, the production.
Let's see. Yeah, 36 is 3 years. Yeah, it was completed, I guess,
when
December 2011. So when is yours?
Next year.
It's going to be tricky, isn't it?
We'll see.
We'll have to do a recut of it.
Yeah, very clever. Okay.
Recut, and instead of calling it a journey,
we'll have your screening in a while.
Okay.
So would you like to tell us something more about your next feature or short film or documentary?
Just briefly, want to say what's really important about Reality Check is that it also deals with the desperateness of the world we live in. This one man committed suicide because he lost all his money. The theater play I'm working on right now is called Night Mother. It's about a woman who decides to commit suicide, is determined on it. I think there is a great need in the world to highlight this so that people can get help before it gets to the point of suicide. And the last film I was in is also important. It's about how children get affected by video games that are violent and by the entertainment that's violent and bloody in the whole, and how it messes with their psychology. And I'm really happy that a film like Reality Check, which is truly an art house film, it's not an easy film for a commercial audience, has been accepted to your festival. And anyone who will give that film a chance to get this message out, where you take away all that violence and all that quick, fast Hollywood entertainment and put something of value, something with a purpose in front of an audience, you are helping make something very important for filmmakers and for people and for the world, and I want to thank you for that. That's why I'm here.
We thank you very much. We wish you all the best, all the good luck to your projects. But I have another question.
Yes, as long as we make it to the screening, you can ask me everything and anything you want.
What is your dream like? You tell us what the wonderful things you have done. What is your dream like?
Well, I feel I'm living my dream life because I really believe so. I'm in a position now where I'm surrounded by people I love. I'm making a difference in the lives of many, and I get to do this work. I don't have to depend on taking jobs like I did in LA that I didn't really want to or have my heart in. I'm in a position now where I'm happy with less is more. I can take a job in a film and not get paid a lot, and it's about the character and about the purpose. And so this is my dream, to be able to continue acting, maybe to, be an older actress at 95 and people still want me for something that matters. That's what I dream of.
Okay, I think even if you look older, you will have the proper roles.
I think I've
What about production? Would you like to do?
I'm producing 2 films that I'm also starring in, but one is
theater plays?
No, the plays I don't produce. We have producers for those. I'm a very strong theater actress, but I'm doing a film. It's in pre-production in Paris. It's called Spring. I'm not directing it, and he's not a first-time director. So if you have a category for first-time film producers, no, I'm not even that, because I produced the documentary. No, but it's called Spring. It's to fight the racism that's still going on today. I find it tremendous that we're in 2014 and people are fighting over religion and there are racial issues. I mean, we have to fix the planet and make it better, provide education for children, and not have, global madness and destruction everywhere. So, and the other film is again about mental illness and also a little bit about the spiritual world. Like, I've had some experiences where, is this for real, or is there more between heaven and earth? And we have a writer from Argentina right now writing a beautiful film called Poet from the Sea. And I was only scheduled to act in that and play the lead role. But I love this story so much, and I do think that I can add something to the production of it, so I've agreed to sign on as a co-producer. So those are in store, but when you don't have a rush for something and you just allow things to happen in their mode, and I'm happy working with the things I do, it'll all happen in its right time. And the director I have for the Paris film, I don't want to reveal on camera, these things can always change, but he's a wonderful director and we're very much in alignment with our vision. So
we're looking forward for your new films.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming to Cyprus International Film Festival.
It's a great pleasure to be here.
The final.